Hello everyone, I am Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC coming at you with the Ultra Heavy Duty tubes from Bridgestone. Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we are taking a closer look at the Ultra Heavy Duty tubes coming from Bridgestone. Now it is no secret that most riders, now I'm not saying everybody, but most riders out there when they're tube shopping for their motorcycle, they tend to just go with the most affordable option. They get the cheapest tube that is out there. Now I am not saying that there's anything wrong with an affordable tube or paying a low price. However, I do believe that when it comes to tubes, that you do get what you pay for, and not all tubes are created equal. Now if you're anything like me, when you're out riding and you're having a good time, the last thing you want to worry about is getting a flat or having to change a tire. So if you fall into that category, well, these tubes are a really good solution. These are especially popular for off-road racers, for desert riders, just because when you're in those, that type of terrain, that rough, nasty, rocky terrain, and you're at those higher speeds, you gotta have the confidence and the peace of mind that your tire's gonna hold up, you're not gonna get that flat, because you gotta make it to the finish line. So these have really been around a long time. They're tried and true. We've been using them for years, and we have really just had awesome results. We've used them in our dirt bikes, our off-road bikes, dual sport adventure bikes, touring, you name it, and they have always been awesome. Now actually, I can tell you from my personal experience, I've actually had one of these for years in my rear tire. Okay, it got to the point where I just felt bad for the tube, so I took it out, put a new one in there, even though it was still perfectly good, and I just have that one as a backup in case I were to need it. But overall, these things are awesome. Now, let's talk about what makes them so good. So just like the name says, ultra heavy duty tubes. And what makes them heavy duty is gonna be in the thickness. Okay, these are gonna be 4 millimeters thick. So it's a lot thick. Now it doesn't sound like a lot, but you gotta remember your standard motorcycle tubes are gonna be between about 1 and 2 millimeters. In fact, I've got a couple pieces here that I cut out from tubes. So here, well actually I'll show you this one first. Now these tubes are different sizes, so disregard the diameters of the tubes. I actually just wanna demonstrate their thicknesses. Here's your standard tube, okay, between 1 and 2 millimeters. When you compare that to the ultra heavy duty, you can see just how much thicker. So you're literally doubling the thickness of your tube. And the nice thing about having that thicker tube, it's just gonna allow it to flex a little bit more. You can squish it. You don't have to worry nearly as much about getting a pinch flat. But also remember that just because a tube says heavy duty and it's thicker, doesn't mean it's gonna be necessarily the best tube that is out there. You also gotta remember rubber quality. So with Bridgestone, that's something that they're known for, is they use a natural rubber, so it's a very high quality rubber, and that really just adds to the durability along with that 4 millimeter thickness. Now, aside from having that thicker tube, okay, and the durability factor, there's also some really good benefits to having these installed. And the first is that, well, you're gonna be able to run a standard or a lower PSI, even in those rougher, nastier terrains. So it's gonna help you get the traction and the handling that you're looking for. A lot of riders, what they'll do is they'll have a standard tube in their bike, and if they're gonna be in real nasty terrain, they'll actually just pump it up and get a lot of PSI in there. Nothing wrong with that. However, having your tires with a lot of PSI makes them harder, so they might deflect more. It's just gonna make for a rougher ride. And really, you gotta remember your tires are a part of your suspension for your motorcycle. So having the right amount of PSI in there is really gonna help out when it comes to control and also feel on the bike. Now, if you're strictly after just flat prevention and that's what you're looking for, well, from an ultra heavy duty tube, your next best bet is probably gonna be a moose insert. And we've used moose inserts here at Rocky Mountain for a lot of years, and they do awesome. But there's still some advantages in my eyes that the ultra heavy duty tube is gonna have over a moose. So first and foremost, gonna be with price. Okay, these are gonna be a lot more affordable option. The other is with install. Okay, mooses, if you ever install one of those, they can be pretty difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of experience or the right tools doing it. These are gonna install just like a regular standard tube. In fact, some people actually argue that these install a little bit easier than a standard tube, just because the thicker rubber, when you put a little bit of air in this, it just helps it hold its shape a little bit better. So it's not gonna bunch up as much when you put it inside the tire. And also the other advantage is you're not gonna get the feel that you would get with the moose insert. Some riders don't like the feel of the moose insert. They say it feels kind of dead and they're not really used to it. Well, running one of these, you're not gonna sacrifice feel with your tires because like I mentioned earlier, you can run just a standard PSI or even lower if you want to. Now the last advantage I do want to touch on that I feel the ultra heavy duty has over a moose insert is just going to be at the weight savings. Okay, a moose insert is going to be heavier than an ultra heavy duty tube. Now speaking of weight, that is a question that gets brought up often, is what is the difference in weight between one of these and just a standard tube? Well, I did some of the work for you. Now no doubt ultra heavy duty is going to be heavier. So I went and weighed a 19-inch rear and also a standard. 19-inch rear came in at 3.6 pounds, whereas a standard tube came in at 1.4. So you are going to be adding a little bit of weight, and honestly, that's the only disadvantage, in my opinion, that you're getting by going to the ultra heavy duty tubes. But honestly, that extra weight, I've never noticed it. I've never felt it when I have these installed in the front and also the rear when I'm riding. And I will gladly take a couple extra pounds on my motorcycle versus not having that peace of mind that I'm not gonna get a flat and I'm gonna have to change a tire possibly. So again, if you're in that same boat and that's what you're looking for, these are gonna be an awesome solution. And there they are. Those are the Ultra Heavy Duty tubes coming from Bridgestone. We have these in multiple sizes for the front and the rear of your motorcycle. If you guys have any questions about these, comment below, give us a call, or chat live online. We will get your questions answered. And to pick yours up, it's real simple. You can click on the link or just head over to our website at RockyMountainATVMC.com. And do not forget that Bridgestone, they have a full lineup of tubes. They have the Ultra Heavy Duty, they also have just a Heavy Duty, and also a Standard. All are gonna be made from the same quality rubber, but if you wanna save a little bit of weight, you can check out those options as well. Remember guys, that orders over $75 ship free, and if you like this product spotlight video, you'd like to see more like it, well, click subscribe, and that is gonna keep you up to date. I'm Chase at Rocky Mountain, and we'll see you on the trails.